clickety-clack of the rails, the rumbling ground, and the stench of diesel fuel in the air sends the train lover to railroad heaven. Amtrak number 301 pulls into the Jefferson City station right on time, disgorging 15 passengers onto the rain-soaked platform. A quick sprint and they're in the historic depot, their luggage dripping on the floor. For many, traveling by train is convenient and inexpensive. It gets them where they're going like a bus or a plane. But almost everyone, at some time, pictures train travel as more mysterious, more romantic than going Greyhound or flying the friendly skies.
I don't know, but you could make it romantic. Had somebody make it romantic. Even when we were kids, we were fascinated with the train. When my son was little, he said, "We're on a cuckoo crane." He loved it.
Kate Theroff sits behind the ticket counter watching the travelers come and go in the rain.
They don't have to be concerned about traffic lights or speed limits, and they can relax.
Theroff is a 23-year veteran employee at Amtrak. She says the trains have a strong draw for people who want to enjoy the sights along the way.
There's so much to see when you're traveling on the train. Between here and St. Louis, we have the river, which is really pretty, and then between Kansas City and L.A. Seeing the painted mountains was really beautiful.
But the familiar rumble of the tracks haven't always been a part of American life. 30 miles away from the bustle of Jefferson City's train depot, Judy Redfield is typing away at her computer. She and her husband Alden are working on a book chronicling the history of mid-Missouri's railroads.
Dreamers like us like railroads.
The Redfields are anthropologists with a love of history. They say when the rails rolled through town 125 years ago, it was a social revolution.
In 1868 approximately, the railroads were being built north of us, and finally in 68 a spur came down to Columbia, and that got us some railroad service.
When the Katy came through, one of the big things it did is everybody went off to see the Columbian Exposition in Chicago.
There was some report that 30% of all the people in Missouri went to that World's Fair, which is a tremendous number.
From the city of Columbia, all you had to do was take the stage to Rocheport, and you get on the train, and you'd be in Chicago the following day. This was wonderful. Every week the newspaper published whole lists of people who had gone to the Columbian Exposition this week. And you could see all your friends who'd been and think, golly, I haven't gone yet. Maybe I should go next week and get my name in the paper, too.
Not only did the trains change the way people traveled, they also brought new economic prosperity to towns along the tracks.
A railroad was considered a real gold mine.
For the first time in history, farmers could easily transport goods to markets in Chicago and New York. According to Alden Redfield, the railroads brought jobs and shaped the world of the late 1800s.
We would probably be here without the railroads, but the chances of our being a major city are very slim. I guess when they built the highways through in the 1950s, you could really say that it would have been opened up. But without the railroads, we'd be like the Ozarks, just a restricted backwater that'd be very hard to get to. And we certainly wouldn't have the University of Missouri. They were important in terms of bringing in people and helping the city keep the university.
The railroad brought new vitality to the area, but also demanded the attention of a great many workers. Hundreds of men were needed to keep the iron road in working order. Redfield says labor was easy to find. Even in its infancy as an industry, railroading had quite a following.
Men tend to like big machines. Now, there's certain guys who really love big machines. There's just no machine, except maybe a battleship, really, that's bigger than a railroad train. These machines are fantastic.
The Redfields say the role of trains in the modern economy is strong, but their role in transporting people has been vastly diminished over the past few decades. Both Judy and Alden share fond memories of riding the rails.
I rode on trains from the time I was a tiny child. It was a real adventure.
I can remember traveling from New Jersey to California, would have been about 1945 or something when I was 4 years old. And I thought it was a hoot. But it was days and days of travel, and you got lots of attention from your parents, and it was lots of fun, and you could wander around, and things rumbled and shook and so on. It was just a lot of fun.
It's those fond memories of railroading that have train enthusiasts filling train museums and hoping to get stopped at the crossing on the way home. The romance of train travel will probably never fade as long as the call of the conductor can be heard.
Hey, all aboard, no visitors on the train, passengers only, right upstairs to your left. Trying to get going here.
KBIA's Between the Lines, I'm Dan Arnold.